Okay, now we're back in action. No, I watch us online to make sure that we're okay. And maybe we have some participants online. And with all these workshops, we hang them on the website of Sustainable Places afterwards so people can go back and find them. And if you go back to 2023 or 2022 or the past history, everything that's happened in these conferences can be seen. So it becomes a historical record, and people always appreciate that. So even if we don't have 100 people online today, maybe over time we'll have 100 people. So it's my pleasure. I'm Tom MEZEROE, and I'll kick off this OITB workshop. And I'm from R2M Solution, and we have with us today 3 OITB projects and a coordination and support action. And we've done this once before, 2 years ago, and we're doing it again now that we're a little bit more mature. And in this workshop, instead of focusing on what we want to accomplish in the project, maybe we're focusing more on what will we accomplish after the project and what are the steps we need to take to do that. So in this workshop, here is our intent. We would expect that the participants of the workshop can learn about how innovation clusters and open innovation test beds and single entry points can accelerate product development in the construction sector, increasing the competitiveness of all the stakeholders involved, the universities, RTOs, and companies. And then also, how are these OITBs positioning for long-term success and longevity? And what are their best practices? So if we had to make simple objectives for the workshop, they're there to learn something about these 3 exciting OITB projects, to be inspired, to do some debate, and to get engaged. Because one of the big messages is that these projects need our support to continue and thrive. So the supporting call text, where this comes from, the background, there was a call topic, industrial leadership, 4 open innovation test beds, 4 materials and building envelopes. And in this call topic, there was these concepts of open innovation, clustering of testing facilities and innovation facilities, operating under a single entry point. We had to show a business plan of how we would arrive to 5 times the funding granted by the Commission over a period of time. These are 15 million euro projects times 5, 65 million. And on building envelopes, including roofs and facades. So combining expertise and to make more accessible cross-sectorial innovation services and testing excellence for European SMEs. So how can we bring testing facilities more accessible to product producers? And 3 proposals were selected for funding in this call: Metabuilding Labs, MEZEROE, and iCLIMABUILT. And we have each of those here with us today. And I picked keywords for me, but we're going to hear from each of these projects, and maybe I get the keywords wrong, and I apologize for that. But when I think quickly of these projects, for Metabuilding Labs, I think of the aspiration to be a landing page for everyone in Europe for construction, and innovation clusters, and maybe booking.com for testing. A MEZEROE knowledge network, excellent in pilot lines, open innovation services, and a marketplace. In iCLIMABUILT, some technical targeted systems, advanced installation systems and energy harvesting, and they're doing open calls, and we'll hear about that likely today, to get the first people into their OITB and ecosystem. So these projects will need your help. Delivering the vision of this call topic will be extremely challenging after these projects close at the end of next year. OITBs are notoriously hard, not only in our sector of construction, but in other sectors. So how does it happen, and how does that come to pass? So here's our agenda. Claudia will tell us about the Star Trek project, a coordination and support action. Maybe a combination of Antoine and Germaine talk to us about Metabuilding Labs, the project, which builds on a former project, Metabuilding. Vasiliki, do I pronounce that correctly? Yes. Okay, Vasiliki will tell us about iCLIMABUILT, and then Roberta will tell us about MEZEROE. And then we look forward to having a roundtable discussion. And the roundtable discussion, I'll moderate that. Alain Zarli could not join the conference. He, from ECTP, would have moderated today. He could not travel to be with us, so I'll moderate a roundtable. And we'll have some questions and some debate. And some of those questions are internal. We've already prepared them so we can hash it out with each other. And then we hope to have questions from the public audience and also online joining us today. We were watching the chat. We welcome to have questions from online. And then we'll close it and go to a very nice dinner that we're all looking forward to. So with that, Open Innovation Testbeds, this workshop, let's kick it off. Claudia, I'll open your presentation and turn the floor over to you. I got it. There we go. Thank you.
So, hello everybody. I'm talking to you about Star Trek. Star Trek actually is a CSA, as Tom said, and you might be wondering in how far this is linked to the OITBs. And if you have maybe followed the Built4People stakeholder forum yesterday, you have learned that Built4People, the public-private partnership, is wanting to build up Built4People Innovation Cluster. At the end of yesterday, they had a signing ceremony for new Built4People Innovation Cluster, and they want to build a Built4People Innovation Cluster Network. And you will see now in how far these Built4People Innovation Clusters and the network are linked to OITBs and other testing facilities. So the idea is to use the Built4People Innovation Cluster to channel innovation support to companies. What is a Built4People Innovation Cluster? A Built4People Innovation Cluster is finally a group of it's grouping innovation actors of the construction sector. Most often they are regional, but they could also be at national level. And they need to evolve on certain aspects. So most often we start with one regional cluster of the construction sector. The front runner that we have developed in Nebula was actually starting from 3 regions that combined their efforts. So it was the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region in France, the Basque country, so Euskadi in the Basque language, and the Navarra cluster. And they have formed the front runner. And so starting from these regional clusters, we want them, Built4People wants them to evolve over time on different aspects, geographically to have cross-border collaboration, cross-sectoral collaboration, foster multidisciplinarity, and in the end, doing this all to create regional innovation ecosystem involving all types of actors to bring innovation to the market for the built environment sector. This is also, it's a slide from actually Built4People Innovation Clusters for Beginners that has been developed by ECTP in the Nebula framework, and the Nebula is another CSA, where we see what they tell these clusters, these regional clusters, why they should become a Built4People Innovation Clusters. There are different aspects. I don't want to go in all to them because we are here now to speak about the open innovation testbeds, but one point where this converges is certainly that these Built4People Innovation Clusters, they should be able to give their members services with respect to innovation and finance or bring these services to their members, to the cluster members that are most often SMEs that need help with innovation because they don't have the experts in-house, and so they need to have help with this. This is from actually the Star Trek, from Germain. This is from the Star Trek proposal, where we, in the preparation, where we were trying to line out what is such an innovation cluster, how it needs to be composed. So it needs to consist of companies, but these companies, as I said, they are organized in regional clusters that are already existing. Here we have 2 of them just to showcase. It needs also to involve other types of innovation stakeholders, like other testing institutes, like the FCBA in France, RTOs. For example, here we have Novatec and Tecnalia, We made this for our region, of course, but this can be translated, of course, to other regions. Universities, actors from other sectors, as we said, these Built4People innovation clusters need to be cross-sectoral, and also entities that are providing pilot buildings. Why is this so important in the end? It's important because the Built4People innovation clusters, once they want to engage in this maturation process, they have to address 6 success factors, and one of them is providing access to test beds and demonstration spaces. So now you can understand why open innovation test beds are especially interesting to finally connect with Built4People Innovation Cluster, because these clusters need open innovation test beds to mature on this 6th success factor. This enhances, of course, then the scheme, and we have put only 2 ones because they are linked to our region. Technalia is involved in MEZEROE, and Nobatec in EFCAT as RTO, that is, we are involved in Metabuilding Labs. So this is just as it is in our region, and how we try to connect the actors that are already in these different open innovation test beds and the network as such. How this is then can look like, we have a Metabuilding platform that we have developed already during the Metabuilding project, which was based actually to help SMEs to do innovations. We had open calls. And in these Metabuilding platforms, the Built4People Innovation Cluster need to take form in a virtual way. They have, it's actually a meeting point for them, a virtual meeting point for them in the Metabuilding platform. That is helping them to work together. They can create working groups, they can share documents, and they can try to come up also with joint roadmaps, which we actually do in Star Trek. We help them to develop joint roadmaps that are aligned with regional strategies, smart specialization strategies, and in order to help them to or assist them with innovation. And also, in order to get a little idea, the ones of you that have been yesterday at the Built4People Stakeholder Forum, you have learned that there are already quite some clusters that have joined this movement, that are signing to become an emerging Built4People innovation cluster. And the idea of the Built4People public-private partnership is actually to join them in a so-called Built4People Innovation Cluster Network. So you see it's getting critical mass, and a lot of regional clusters want to join this network and then integrate in this Built4People Innovation Cluster Network at European level under the umbrella of Built4People. So why is this now important with respect to open innovation testbeds? As I mentioned, it's mainly focused on the 6th success factor. These Built4People innovation clusters need guidance on innovation expertise and access to testing and demonstration. And who else than the 3 OITBs on materials in building envelopes, but also other OITBs or other testing facilities can basically provide them the service they need to the managers of these Built4People innovation clusters, but also to their members. And this is one of the goals of Star Trek, is to foster this connection between OITBs and the Built4People Innovation Cluster Network. So this is just the initial phase, but that you understand in how far this interacts. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open up the next presentation. And Antoine, as you come up, or Jermaine, one thing that I'm struggling with the mouse. One thing we didn't do yet is to define the open innovation test bed. So maybe you can lead us off in that. Do we have technical support in the room? We do not. Okay. Okay, we got it back. We're fine. Yeah, something happened. We had no mouse, and then they came back. So we're happy that it's back. So next up, we have 10 minutes to hear from Metabuilding Labs. And as I mentioned, if we could define for the audience, maybe there's someone in the room or online that doesn't have clear yet what is an open innovation testbed. So we should probably cover that.
So, hello everyone, I'm Jamal Adel. I am currently the General Director of Metabuilding ASBL, which is an association based in Brussels, which acts as a single entry point. It's a little bit complex, but I will explain of one of the OITBs, which is Metabuilding Labs. I am here with Antoine Duguay, who is the head of the technical aspect in the project Metabuilding Labs, and also Novatech is the coordinator of Metabuilding Labs as a project. So we will explain a little bit what we are doing and basically the main achievements we have, the highlights, we could say, of Metabuilding Labs today, and starting, as Tom has suggested, explaining what is an open innovation testbed. So the open innovation testbed are coming from an initiative of the European Commission. Since many years, I think, more or less, I don't know, 7 years, something like that already, or something like that. It started with other industrial fields, so these were topics launched by the European Commission, and the idea behind this open innovation testbed was to facilitate and streamline the access to testing services, testing facilities, innovation services, so make this accessible and a little bit clearer. Sometimes these kind of things may be a little bit complex for SMEs. So the idea is to bring to SMEs, if you're a big company, you know where to go, you know who you work with, sometimes you have your own laboratories, etc. Then SMEs, which, as you know, are the really biggest part of the construction sector, often lack this kind of knowledge internally, so they need to go to a market, and it can be a nightmare to find the right service provider, the right test, to know how to drive your innovation in the field of all the regulations, European ones, national ones, etc. So the idea of the Open Innovation Testbed is to have a simplified access by organizing testing services, basically RTOs or university labs, etc., within a single access, and so one client can find the whole solution of his or her problem by tapping into the resources in this network. So I think this is the main idea of Open Innovation Testbed. So back in time, it has been a call, and from that competitive call, we have the 3 projects still ongoing, that we are explaining to you basically today. So if you have a question, please, you can ask while we are speaking. So our main highlights now in the autumn 2024, I would like to present you 5 highlights. So first of all, our ecosystem, and for us the ecosystem is very important. Our project is huge. It's more than 40 partners. So we have project partners. We have also other partners or members of the ecosystem because they are coming from related projects. We have, as Tom mentioned before, We had a previous project called Metabuilding. It was an InnoSoup project where we brought direct funding for innovators, SMEs, doing innovation in 6 different countries in cross-sectoral way with construction and other industry sectors like recycling industries, nature-based solutions, digital industries, and additive manufacturing. So from those projects, that project started the ecosystem, started the platform, and then we have this CSA, like the Nebula, Star Trek, where clusters are joining the ecosystem. That's what Claudia has just explained. So this point is important for us. Then our digital open innovation platform. This is very, very important for us, the Metabuilding platform. You may probably have already heard of it. So Metabuilding, I will explain later how it is. Then the single entry point, which is active and operational. This is also something we are proud of. So because it's the materialization of our will to keep on operating after the project lifespan. Then the O3BET, which is an innovative test bench that we have designed and invented, let's say, and this guy has done that, basically has led that job of creating the O3BET, and so he will explain it better than me. And then the pilot buildings matchmaking module. I don't know if we will keep this name, but the idea is one of our features on how to solve the eternal problem that I'm sure you know about funding pilot building for test your innovations in projects. So our project ecosystem, as you see here, so these are basically some of the partners, not all the partners in the Metabuilding Labs project. So we have what the most important ones are on the bottom part. These are RTOs or universities bringing knowledge, bringing testing facilities, bringing innovation services. And there you see the map, how we cover 13 countries in Europe and Turkey. So these are the main actors in our network are these institutions. Then we have also professional organization. You have the ECTP, which is the European Construction Technology Platform, which is key, has been really helping us in the design and the inception of this ecosystem. And then, well, the other associations, some also association concerning the housing, living labs, etc. As you see there, I cannot name them all, but they are very important for our ecosystem. And then we have from other projects I explained before, so then technology platforms, professional organizations, and sectoral organization, and then the clusters. Clusters are joining because the initiative of the Built4People Innovation Cluster came after. And so the idea is that the clusters need, in order to work this network of Built4People Innovation Cluster, need also a digital backbone to communicate, to collaborate together, etc. So they are using the metabuilding.com platform in order to do this. So we have these clusters that you are seeing, and hopefully all the others that have signed yesterday an agreement to become Built4People Innovation Cluster will communicate using the Metabuilding platform, and will have, as Claudia just explained, one of the key 6 points is to have a good relationship and the connection with OITBs. Then another highlight is our platform. That you see that our platform, to be really quick, is free, metabuilding.com. Every stakeholder, our ambition is every stakeholder in the construction sector in Europe uses it. As I said before, the use of the platform, basic use of the platform is free because we have what I call ecosystem services. So using metabuilding.com platform, you can have your own page with your company, your institution, etc. You can also perform searches. You can publish collaboration opportunities, business opportunities. You can find new partners. You can publish that you are whatever, let's say, coordinating a proposal and you need partners, etc. You can do a lot of things with the platform, and this is the orange part, let's say, in the picture. And so these are the ecosystem services from Metabuilding.com. And then we use also Metabuilding platform in order to be able to show what we do in Metabuilding Labs, because these are Metabuilding Labs are professional services. These are things that our members do, so they can test, they can help innovation. There's a lot of services that are available also via the Metabuilding.com platform. So we call them innovation and testing services, also innovation coaching, which is the typical idea of you have an expert that goes a little bit of way of an innovation, helping the innovation, the technology provider refine and go higher in TRL in his project. So then our single entry point, so as I explained before, the OITB call already asked asked the projects to have a centralized management of the network and these activities. So we interpreted it because it was, of course, each project interpreted this in a different way. We interpreted that the best solution was to create an association. So we, of course, also Metabuilding Association is deeply related to ECTP. And so ECTP also help us a lot figuring out how this association should be and how to be complementary with them. We didn't want to be in any means the same as ECTP that already exists and has its own functions, but Metabuilding Association is more an operational institution that is bringing to the sector the digital platform and also engage in bringing streamlined access to services, etc. So this is an association in Brussels, and we have our project partners are gradually becoming members of the association. So this is a process ongoing, and you see there what are them. We are also open to external new memberships. So this is something that you may be interested in joining the association, joining the OITB. Our ambition is to cover all Europe with our network. So this is something important for us. And this is the OITB, and I leave the floor to Antoine.
So in the frame of the Metabuilding Labs project, there are services for which you might find in the Metabuilding.com platform. And amongst those services, there is this OITB. So the OITB is firstly, it's aimed at mainly SMEs, but SMEs of the construction sector, developing facade solutions. So for those facade solutions, there is potentially, a number of small companies. It used to be rather large competitors, and there are small companies with innovative solutions that could be about materials integrated in the facade. That could be about a dynamic system involving smart, adapted piloting, and so on. And so for those solutions, lab environments are not adapted, and to try and test at building scale is not adapted neither. And so as an in-between solution, in between also in the TRL scale, the concept is to install it in a real environment, meaning at scale, weather adapted solution. It's not the first case of such envelope solution. Envelope test bench. What's new, a bit more or less, is the fact that there are a series of those OITBs which are identical for the sales that are spread across Europe. We'll see in the next slide. And the idea is that to rely on some measurement that we all share the same management for the data acquisition and how to exploit this data in order to characterize the performance of those solutions. Again, it can be PV, it can be opaque, it can be glazing with any kind of piloting, and with the idea of the more complexities, the more suitable the OITB is. The best way to understand what it is to, if you go back to the lobby, the first let's say the first screen on your right is a demonstration of how it can be exploited, especially from an industrial point of view, because what we can see on top right, more or less, you say that on top of the physical aspect, there is a digital twin, and with one of these digital twin is for the client, the technology provider, to be able to follow the monitoring and how to, from the characterization coming from the host rebate, how to have an idea of the performance of this technology if applied to a series of buildings, of archetypes. And so, yeah, that's mainly very quickly is that to say that there is a series across Europe, and the idea is to also build upon each experiences in order to manage this network.
Thank you, Antoine. I think that perhaps you didn't mention if there was in the previous slide, the network will be expanded, because the idea of this, we have 9 for the moment. This is what the project allowed us to have, and the volunteers from the technology centers that wanted, finally we have 9, but we could have 10 or more gradually. If any institution joining the network wants to have one, we can help them building, figuring out. We have the plans, we have everything is shared with the new members, no problem at all. And the last highlight in our project is what we call the pilot building matchmaking module. So this will be a module in the Metabuilding platform that we are working on it in order to find the right pilot site, the right pilot building for each innovator. How you do this? Because you know, if you are in the business, and you are, that when buildings go through a renovation, you have a kind of golden moment in order to, you take advantage that you are doing a renovation in order to leave a little room to test some innovation. So then normally we work like this. And so building owners can put their buildings with a planified renovation. Let's say I will renovate this building in 2 years, etc. So we can put this case in a database, and then innovators can search and find the right kind of building in the right climate zone, etc. And then we facilitate this. And of course, there will be a service from Metabuilding Labs designing the building operation, the monitoring, etc. So there will be also a service for that. And we think this will be quite disruptive and very useful for all the industry. So we are quite proud of and eager to have this already working in the Metabuilding platform. And we do this, of course, with the support of big actors in the field like Housing Europe, European Network of Living Labs, and other building owners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I knew that was your last slide because I had the presentation. Well done, well done, well done. We'll take questions in the roundtable discussion. Please hold it, and we want them, but we can't cheat the next OITBs. So the number one objective is of the workshop, or one of, is to learn about these OITB projects and inspire you. So we've heard from Metabuilding Labs. Now let's hear from iCLIMABUILT, from the Saliki, from the National Technical University of Athens. Et voila, take us away.
So I'm Vasiliki Tsatoulidi. We are the coordinators of the iCLIMABUILT. A few project details. The full title is Functional and Advanced Insulting and Energy Harvesting Storage Materials Across Climate Adaptive Building Envelopes. The number of partners are 27. Actually, we have an extension of the projects from 48 to 54 months via an amendment. Also, as for the consortium, there are, as I already said, 27 partners, where 16 of them are RTOs, 11 are SMEs, and we have 14 European Union countries. Our partners cover a geographically wide range across the European Union, and we are particularly proud to have 11 SMEs involved, as their participation is crucial for bringing innovation, flexibility, and local expertise to the consortium. As for the goal of the iCLIMABUILT, is to create an open access ecosystem for developing, upscaling, and testing innovations in building envelope materials and technical system, striving for via its 9 pilot lines, striving for nearly zero energy building balance. As for the main goal of Open Innovation Testbeds is to assist companies and potential users advance from validation into laboratory to prototypes in industrial environments by giving them access to technology. Potential users of the Open Innovation Testbeds can be industrial, including SMEs, as well innovators and startups. As we can see from the figure here, these all ecosystem services from iCLIMABUILT are directly connected and interacted with the potential users who are SMEs, small consortia, etc., through the single and directly through the single entry point, SEP. The project phases are the 3 that are illustrated here, and at the moment we are at the phase 3, which is the ecosystem extroversion and sustainability. We are reaching the phase 3. As for the single entry point, which is the most significant part of our, which one of the most significant parts of our project is that there is a link between customers with the project ecosystem, and in order to test, validate, and upscale new technological solutions, here is the link. By utilizing our testbed service portfolio, more specifically through the single entry points, there are we provide the partners will provide directly their services into the potential users. Directly through this link. The testbed service portfolio is consisted of 6 building blocks. As we can see here, we can see here the services on each building block, and the total services are 61. Here, as for the Open Innovation Testbeds, we have the pilot line test cases and demos. For the pilot lines, we have the phase change materials, the thermoelectrical generators, multifunctional and composite sandwiches, solar active envelope materials and structures, customizable 3D printing components for well-being, including filters, cement and concrete-based materials for wall facades, and insulating components from waste materials, aerogels, and omniphobic coatings. Regarding the test cases, we have the smart ventilated heat harvest window, the building integrated photovoltaics, the thermoelectrical generator modules, the thermally efficient and lightweight TRC CLCI composite panels for functional and smart building envelopes, the eco-sustainable insulating components incorporating the waste materials, the multi-composite sandwich solutions, and the 3D printed customizable components for indoor environmental quality improvement. For example, we have the light diffusers, the hybrid sound absorption diffusing panels, and also the components regarding the moisture and CO2 absorptions. As for the living labs now, we have 5 living labs in Amposta, in Manresa, which are located in Spain, in Torino in Italy, in Dresden in Germany, in Trondheim, Norway. Another significant achievement from iCLIMABUILT is the open call that has to do with the validation of these testbed services towards external technological solutions, with the funding of 70% to 8 external consortia of SMEs. The funding is up to 150,000 euros, free access to testbed services, and the upscaling of new test cases with TRL up to 6 or 7, and SME support, of course. As for the building envelope component characterization, except for the testing into laboratory environments, according to each type of test case and each time of performance of the materials, as we can see from this table, we have also the outdoor test facilities, which has to do with the performance of each material component. Regarding the project living laboratories, here you can see the test cases, what test cases are also tested into living laboratories and not only in outdoor test facilities and lab environments with actual users under long-term monitoring. Here we can see figures, indicative figures from the installation and the integration of these test cases into the living laboratories. As for the open call, here we have all the open call was supported and was supported through the single entry point. During the single entry point, there is also interaction between the single entry point SEP and the MTAS platform, where there is a direct communication with potential users, and directly they have access during an Excel document. And also included the pricings where it is applicable and it is feasible, where they can see what services they are interested in. And also we have companies or small consortia, up to 3 partners, that will develop and test their technologies, referring to materials for building envelopes, by utilizing the service of the iCLIMABUILT testbed. Also, the total budget, as I referred before, and the funding scheme is 70% by iCLIMABUILT open calls and 30% by the winning applicants. Also, iCLIMABUILT partners are providing to the open call wizard services consisting of person months dedicated to subsidized activities, while through the fund consumable travel costs logistics will be covered. And the open call launched through SEP, as I already said, and closed in January 2024. Open call section in the SEP was created containing the most relevant information to the open call, guidelines, applicant forms, and a complete and updated list of services offered by the iCLIMABUILT partners. Also, SEP was configured to serve as the platform for the applicants to submit proposals. The results of this open call, we received 17 proposals, where 13 of them were eligible, and the winning proposals were 8. 2 of them has already begin, and as for the winning proposals, they had a final score higher than 10 out of 15. That the negotiation phase and the fine-tuning was a time-consuming, let's say, time-consuming procedure. That's why we have all this time extension. And after the successful implementation of the fine-tuning and negotiation phase, all parties signed the relevant contractual agreements. What is also important is to refer that feedback until July 2025, we gather the feedback by the open call winners, who will review the services provided by the open call, and this will be achieved based on their inputs. Another important achievement and that has to be completed is the JVC, the joint venture company, that will be the aim of these companies to leverage our combined expertise, resources and market knowledge to create a dynamic entity that can capitalize on emerging opportunities and address the needs of our target market more effectively related to the construction sectors. JVC will preserve and handle the iCLIMABUILT testbed after the completion of the project. Also, it will join as the 28th partner in iCLIMABUILT via an amendment, as foreseen in the grant agreement. The funding of the JVC will be, being an SME, the JVC receives an European Union contribution of 70% of the total budget declared in the participation in the project, contributing the remaining 30%. The budget is €2,000, plus 25% overheads is foreseen as funding for the JVC, and the partners that will be of the consortium will be the NTUA, BGTech and Technology, and will establish the JVC and become its shareholders, and also the other partners will be bonding through joint venture agreements. The JVC business will be focused on the provision of the iCLIMABUILT ecosystem services. We should take advantage of the ecosystem with its offer of high-level services, high-level consultancy. The focus should be the commercialization of product services with higher TRLs and from the partners that are willing to be more commercial. And as for NTUA, the services will be LCA, fire testing, and possibly other services from our Nano Lab. Bergamo Technology will be prefabricated multifunctional technologies, Windows facade with additional functionalities, prototyping capabilities, supporting product development, and supporting new product design. And as for the technology company, the services will be expertise on thermal energy harvesting for building envelopes, retrofitting energy efficiency improvement solution, project manager, and LCA. What is the most important that I would like to refer and note it that this JVC will be, as 28th partner, will be the validation of this whole ecosystem, and it will be a commercial limited liability company in the legal form of private capital company based in Greece. These are all links. Thank you so much for your attention.
Compliments and well done. I have questions, but I have to hold them for our roundtable discussion. And if we're good, we'll have 25 minutes while we're in the hands of Roberta, next speaker. Roberta Lolini from URAC Research. I'll open up your presentation. It's a PDF. And to go to full screen mode, where do I go? Top left, right? Bottom? Control L? Thank you. Did someone say Control L?
Control is this.
This is Control?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a German keyboard. Thank you. You have it. There's nothing else I can do. Now, this would be different. Great. Now if I hit Control L, no. Control M. I'll control anything you want. Maybe we do like this. And you try. Thanks for the PDF.
I can do shit of this.
It's because it's lighter than the PowerPoint.
Very light, very light.
I can see.
Indeed. And we can't move this because it's cabled. Come on, Antoine. We're in your hands.
No, actually, I said. Okay. Which one is it?
I believe it's this one.
I didn't a split screen? No. Okay, and...
Thank you for the help, though.
No, no.
No, but Zach.
The mouse?
The mouse is gone? There's the mouse.
Okay. I guess I'm going to leave you do it.
You leave me to do it. Thank you.
I split the screen.
Without presentation.
No, but I'm the one to blame.
We just close it and
Okay.
we open it again. I'm voting for us. I think we're going to get this. And
And I hope.
That's enough.
yeah. I will, if you want to stand there, I will advance it for you.
Yeah, but like over there you can't see the screen. On the left. No.
Yeah, anyway, I think let's start again. So,
We see
Roberto,
where.
yeah. Roberto Lollini from Europe Research, a private research institution in Bolzano, Italy, northwest of Italy, quite close to the Austrian border, to Europe as well. So I'm going to present MEZEROE main achievement and idea of how going on with MEZEROE.
We can grab this microphone. Just pull it out.
So we are thinking about what we call a MEZEROE network. I don't know if this will be the definitive name. And the idea is to provide a knowledge framework enabling transition of the built environment towards a more, let's say, important innovation and sustainability. The two key drivers are the knowledge sharing among peers in order to, let's say, facilitate exchanges among peers, I would say RTOs or academic institutions possibly participating, and matching between innovation needs and assessment capacity. We already listened to this concept. So the idea is to enable brilliant ideas to go into the market with a robust evidence-based performance characterization. So, next slide. We worked mainly on three aspects. We already listened to most of them. So, pilot measurement and verification lines, open innovation services, and living labs. So these are the three ways to support innovation in the past, starting from TRL 1 to TRL 9, so up to the market. Of course, I mean, both the testing capacity and innovation services will support a different level of maturity of innovation for the product. Next slide, thank you. Yeah, next.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
This one? No, it is your one.
Presentation. So about the living labs, I will have it because I mean there are different approaches, also different angle of, let's say, of approach related to living labs. We are thinking mainly on the place where to implement the living labs co-creation methodological approach. So could be a laboratory, could be a emulator of the building, and could be a real buildings. So the difference are from starting from the lab, we can control perfectly the boundary conditions, but we cannot have the feedback coming from the building users. And if we move to a building emulator, as in the picture, I mean, we can still control the boundary conditions, maybe not the outdoor conditions, but we have the, let's say, the perception of the users participating in experimental campaigns. And then if we go to the real buildings, we can have the building users as well as, I don't know, workers installing the products as well as other stakeholders or players providing feedback and then supporting in the innovation process and supporting in the further development of the product. Of course, we move toward a more interesting contribution by the human subjects, losing control of the boundary conditions. But I mean, this is the balance that we should consider. Thank you for the next. Which are the main challenges of the network as a distributed knowledge-based ecosystem? I already mentioned sharing and transferring knowledge, so sharing among peers and transferring to other players or other stakeholders, facilitating the matching between testing needs and testing offer. Real building as living labs, as I said, and then most important, making marketable solutions coming from SMEs that most of the time cannot by themselves following the whole innovation process and are also working in a reluctant environment to innovation, like the building sector. I mean, it's full of brilliant ideas and brilliant solutions to problems, but maybe there's no structured and organized framework for supporting innovation. That's why the Commission financed three projects as we see. Next one. So these are mainly the functions we are thinking for the network. I would mention the platform as a sort of a showcase of what we develop within MEZEROE, an annual symposium for the knowledge sharing, maybe smaller dissemination events during the year, continuously collecting feedback by market players, and of course promoting synergies also with other OITBs, with other let's say initiative and association in the building sector, working with companies. Yeah, the organization would be quite, let's say, simple. So with some affiliate, the RTOs providing possible testing facility and services. So a management board, expression of the affiliates, yeah, managing the network, and then some technical committee dealing with different topics, from some organizational one to more technical and related to the contents. The idea is that the services are directly managed and provided by the affiliate, so not by the network. The network is just for, let's say, keeping all the partners together, all the members together, and yeah, so it is a way to actually provide this knowledge transfer and awareness about available testing facilities. Yeah, thank you. The platform, as I said, developed by R2M as a partner of the project. You can access MEZEROE platform.eu. Is a virtual marketplace offering the three main categories of results: pilot, measurement and verification lines, open innovation services, and living labs in real building. Why offering that? To support, as I already said, innovation path from TRL 1 to 9, so up to the market. And I mean, we have our pilot lines, we have living labs, and so this could actually implement the whole process. Last one, what is happening? So we are performing tests. We perform a test side. So the idea is to define codes like already presented for iCLIMABUILT in order to provide further chances for performance characterization of innovative product. And we are preparing the first symposium, so it will be the final conference of MEZEROE as well as the first. Was off? Super. Was perfect presentation from technical point of view. Yeah. And yeah, we are working on, let's say, the shape, the configuration of our single entry point, discussing with the other OITBs, so with Metabuilding and as well with iCLIMABUILT. And so the idea is that we don't want to be, let's say, yeah, in competition, but we would like to try to find a way to cooperate in the best way and to find the best synergies and opportunities for collaborating. Yeah, then of course you can wonder how they can make a sustainable network. I mean, as I said, the main initiative will be this symposium, and there will be some fees for the participant. Just an example. So the key functions of the network could be paid directly, yeah, thanks to the initiative itself. So that's the idea. Thank you for your patience, for all technical problems, for my issue in providing a PDF instead of PowerPoint, and all the other issues. But I do hope I communicate something interesting.
Great.
Thank you very much for your attention.
And I'm fascinated because I think we got the technician because Adrian online mentioned that he couldn't hear us. And I think the technician from far away caught that. I'm also fascinated. I almost asked him to stay for this moment. Yes. Let's open up the roundtable presentation and see if this works. It's all about PowerPoint. Excellent. I'm a Microsoft fan. Good. I'm also interested or fascinated that there was a call. 3 different proposal teams, you know, were selected, and we have 3 different responses. So we see some unique characteristics of these OITBs. So I think that's excellent. So now let's call up Germaine, Vasiliki, and Roberta here. I'll sit over there, and let's start this roundtable discussion. And we have some questions that we prepared. But maybe we start with the first question that was waiting in the audience, and thank you for holding that. So Germaine, Vasiliki, Roberta, if you'd come up, just so you can be heard by the microphone. Germaine, you can throw that backpack on the ground. I can't go back that way.
My name is Jürgen Frick from the University of Stuttgart Materials Testing Institute, and I'm a partner in the second round of the OITB in Exploit for Inomat. So we are facing the same challenge as you do, so it's very interesting for me to follow this discussion. Thank you very much for this presentation. I have just a general question, because Claudia mentioned this Built4People cluster, and yesterday we had this signature of the clusters to the Built4People. But Built4People is a European partnership. I know it because ECTP is also a member of this European partnership, and other organizations. Does the Built4People cluster is it belongs to this European partnership, or is it just you use the name for this?
So in very simple, no. Thank you.
Yes, it's actually it's done within Star Trek. Star Trek is a CSA, a coordination and support action, and I call it like a service project or to the Commission in order to install to the Built4People public-private partnership to install Built4People Innovation Clusters and the Built4People Innovation Cluster Network. So it's not yet installed, but We have started to setting certain things up. The front runner, Anastasia, wants to talk as well. No problem. We have started things in a project called Nebula, where we have defined the framework you have seen with the 6 success factors. And Star Trek has started on the 1st of May and is now continuing the work and is stabilizing what has been started in Nebula. May I?
Yeah, thank you very much. As Claudia rightly said, it is connected to Built4People partnership, but it's not Built4People partnership itself. So the Built4People Innovation Cluster is the innovation cluster, which has in its spirit the Built4People objectives, as well as the New European Bauhaus values and working principles. And the scale of maturity is along these success factors, and support is done through Star Trek. So that's why it's not really a partnership. And one does not need to be in the partnership to be in Built4People Innovation Cluster Network, which is very important. It needs to have it in the heart, but not technically be in the partnership itself.
Thank you. And Anastasia is from the ECTP. And of course, I think also in the background is all the work by Alain Zarli to negotiate with the Commission, to generate call topics and coordination support actions that can connect the Built4People partnership to things such as the OITB.
I'm active also in the strategic research and innovation agenda from the ECTP.
And the framework programs are co-designed by us as a community. So it's just a reminder that we have a say. So that's also interesting. So Jermaine, if you could hit the forward button, we'll kick off question number 1. So OITB projects are notoriously hard across all sectors, manufacturing, health, you name it. And construction is not an easy sector. We know that. It's not that the building sector is number 1 easy on the list. So, what is the secret sauce of your OITB project that has the potential to make it a winner and be long lasting? And I think we got a flavor of that, but I'd like to kick it across these 3 projects to synthesize, what's the secret sauce? Let's start from right to left. Ladies first, Vasiliki, iCLIMABUILT. What makes you great?
I believe after the Open Innovation Testbed project, my experience, that there is an actual interaction and through the single entry point between the potential users and the services that are provided, this platform is up and running, and everyone who is interested to make it happen, it can directly proceed with the procedures and contact with the partners that they are interested in. And I think that it's something that differentiates from the other construction properties and the other fields of construction. This is my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Can I use this one? So I think, it's our secret weapon. For me, it's the ecosystem approach, the innovation ecosystem approach. We are, in fact, because the innovation ecosystem at every level is very important. And because we have an attitude, it's different to say we wanted to avoid creating this kind of network, etc., and then having a web page and waiting for clients to come. This is not, our approach is completely different from that. We are proactive in going to look and to bring these SMEs into the ecosystem so they are aware of what is happening and they are in contact with all the rest of the ecosystem. So the way of going until the SMEs, we start from the idea that the SMEs are in clusters. That is also why this initiative from Built4People Innovation Cluster is perfect for our ecosystem, because we are paying attention to the companies, we are going to reach them, inform them, they have to be aware of what is on offer for them as services and all kind of knowledge available, etc., in order to be more performant. So this approach is at the base, at the core of our ecosystem, and also the relationship with ECTP at European level, and also national technology platform that we strive from the ECTP. We strive since several years in order to crystallize this initiative, and we want, from ECTP, I'm talking now, we want national technology platform in each European country. There are, maybe you know, there are only 2 really established national technology platform for the moment, one in Spain, the PTEC, and the other is in Portugal, PTPC. They have been both, PTPC and PTEC were in the original Metabuilding project, and PTEC is also a partner in Metabuilding Labs. And we count on them also in order to organize this outreach to all the stakeholders, proactive outreach to stakeholders, in order, because they will become our clients.
Okay.
That's
Roberto, MEZEROE.
Yeah, maybe we still have to find the secret of our success. So we are working on that, but mainly is the capacity of, let's say, answer and providing what the SME needs in terms of, again, capacity to develop their products. So the ability to understand what is the problem and having the right answer in terms of infrastructure and methodological approach in order to actually talk with them with their languages and providing them robust and reliable results. That's maybe.
Great, thank you. And you can switch. And I would emphasize that each project reflects the strength of the coordinators. So here we have technical excellence from the chemistry department, I think, NT2A. We have ecosystem building, which is in the core DNA. And we have this knowledge network and the facades program at UREC that maybe could be linked to this. So I think there are different strengths and complementarities. Okay, question number 2. How does your single entry point work? Who will be engaged as the OITB member from the project partnership, and under which legal binding? And we heard some of that, but and if we're short in our responses, we can cover more ground. So let's short, succinct responses if we can. And who do people contact to get in touch with your OITB services? Because we have people listening, and we want them to know who to contact and how it works.
Actually, regarding my presentation, there is a link how SEP works. I don't know if it's feasible right now to show it, to demonstrate the link how it works, but I can tell some few words. So from the link, you press a button, and then there are the services, the service testbed portfolio, and has to do with the pilot line, test cases, and to test the energy, the performance of the materials or components. There are many options that any potential user can choose and can select. And and also there is interaction with the MTAS platform that we have with the cooperation with the University of Strathclyde, where you can actually choose the potential users or clients what they really want, and to download the prices and select what measurements they want to do at the lab scale, at the living laboratory scale, at outdoor test facilities. This is how it works from iCLIMABUILT.
Thank you. And when is your joint venture going live? Is it already founded or will be?
Actually, the establishment of JVC is under progress due to some bureaucratic issues, because JVC will be a Greek company, and for that reasons, the other partners have to do some to obtain some Greek, let's say, documents, legal documents, in order to be partners and shareholders of this company. And this is the actual validation of the ecosystem through this JVC and will be active after the completion of the project, where as a 28th partner. And this is how it works at JVC. It's not started yet, yes.
Yeah, sorry, can I ask for a little more detail?
Yeah.
You mentioned that, so you will have this joint venture with 3 partners, the university and 2 other companies?
And the other partners are bonded through contractual agreements. All the partners are joint, but the actual shareholders are the 3 parts. And the UAE can take.
So contractual agreement means that we engage to work with you, this kind of thing?
Some kind of services, yes.
Okay.
The services that they're provided on its type that they provide.
Another thing is that I saw in your presentation, one of the 2, so the university we know, then there are 2 companies. One of them is a kind of facade provider?
This has to do with smart ventilated windows, and the other has to do with facades, wall facades, and LCA.
But this is an industrial company, so what are they going to sell? Their windows through your OITB?
Companies, they are companies, not universities, if you ask that.
No, what I don't understand is they sell services or they sell products?
They sell end products and consulting services.
Consultancy, okay.
Yes.
So they can, okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
My turn or Roberto?
Your turn.
My turn, okay. So the question, who will engage as OITB member? We have, so as I said before, we have plus 40 partners in our consortium. So I didn't explain that, but the project is this network of service provider testing facilities, and we have a bunch of other partners in our project that are there to test, to help in setting up the ecosystem and to test it. So we have SMEs bringing their technologies, we have pilot sites. So these kind of partners, this industrial that produce or windows or whatever that sell products, they will not be part of the OITB. The OITB for us is a network of service provider, and basically, if I have to make it short, a lot of RTO or universities. Then we have some research performing companies as R2M and other ones, but basically this is the, and also we will have as members some professional organizations or clusters, like the ECTP is already one of our members, and Housing Europe, etc. So this is the kind of members that we'll have, and apart from that, of course, external members that will be eventually keen on joining our OITB. And who do people contact to get in touch? This is a good question, and we are figuring it out, but the thing is, people can access to the network via the platform. So we consider the Metabuilding.com platform as kind of virtual single entry point. So people can say, I need a service, I want to test an innovation. So they click on the button, etc. And then someone from the network will see what is the request. Very probably this will be context sensitive. I mean, if the request comes from France, very probably there will be a French member of the network that will see, because it will be written in French, etc. So we want to really facilitate the access and work in the local languages. And then also we hopefully, clusters also help us bring in clients, because we know SMEs are in clusters, so normally cluster managers know if one of their members are having trouble because they need this or that, so they also can help us and saying, listen, we have here a potential client for you. Okay?
Yeah, more or less the same approach. So the network is made of mainly of RTOs and universities and labs with the capacity to provide assessment facilities as well as assessment capacity. The way to be in contact with our network is through our platform as a landing page. So there, possible customer can meet all the affiliate to the network, and of course the other channels are the symposium with knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing, and the other dissemination events when possible customer can participate and then be in contact with the members. That's the idea.
Thank you. And I like to synthesize and make things simple. So I think we have an SME for-profit that is the single entry point in iCLIMABUILT. I think we have an association in Metabuilding that is the single entry point, and there's a platform, and then they represent the OITB. And if you have a knowledge network, maybe there is no legal form. And your secret sauce is you don't have to worry about all of those legal things because you decide on how the knowledge network operates, and it's an informal club that gets things done through those normal channels. How you actually make that work, I don't know, but I think that's, in synthesis, SME, association, and knowledge network so far.
Maybe a comment or maybe additional information. We are in Exploit for Innomat, and then that's right. The legal things are really complicated. Therefore, we decided in the consortium to join an existing OITB. It's called Light COCE, C-O-C-E, yeah. And we will join this. We will merge with them because they are a bit. So we can avoid these legal issues, and several partners will be partner of the OITB, and several cooperating partners which are not in the board, but will be cooperating with the test facilities and with the testing. And most of the partners will join.
Thank you for that comment, because someone actually has to do it afterwards, and that can be touchy. A quick question: who will be the CEO of your joint venture?
Actually, this is under progress, and we haven't decided. It's the establishment of the JVC. That's why we had the extension of the project has to complete it through many issues that have to deal with. First of all, we had the themes in order to be or non-profit or for-profit, because other partners have to have some issues regarding how to connect to this company. We haven't decided the CEO.
Still deciding. I'll answer for Jermaine. Jermaine changed his job to be the head of the association, so, because someone has to do it, and that's the hard part. Someone has to dedicate their life to this. So that's why I asked the question. It's a tough one. And did I see a question here?
Yeah. It's a very simple question. Do you see any overlap in the OITB activities with the services provided by accredited and certified laboratories throughout Europe?
They're members of these OITBs.
Not necessarily, no. From what I saw from the presentations, a lot of the services, testing services, not the consultancy services, are done ad hoc, as far as I can understand. And from the innovator point of view and the SME point of view, I'm asking myself, what is the added value in terms of services coming to an OITB when I know that locally in my country, there is a logistics problem always in all this service provision. I can do it faster and probably in agreement with the local legal framework.
And just to be quick, I'll answer and you can change, because we're about out of time. So if I had to answer that question, I would tell you that many of the testing services in the OITBs will be lower TRL. and higher costing because they're lower TRL. And maybe we connect to funding instruments. That's one answer. If I want to sell a standard fire test, maybe it's not through the OITB, but maybe the OITB can bring you as a testing infrastructure more clients because we're out finding those people. We can make these services visible, and maybe instead of your lab being at 50% utilization, we bring you to 55% if you're a member of the OITB, because we get you a few extra clients each year. Maybe. But it doesn't have to be that every standard test happens in an OITB, but maybe some of them will. That would be my answer.
I would agree with you. Yeah, what is, let's say, the difference is the open innovation that needs to work at lower TRL and maybe a standard accredited lab. And we do both, so accredited test and strange test for innovative products, and are completely different approaches. So to me, could be complementary.
No, hit the forward button. No, not the off button. On the computer for the next
The one.
question.
The next question.
On to the next question.
Ah,
And we're gonna,
okay.
Maybe we
I cannot answer. You don't
You wanted to answer? Yeah.
Because I think if you need a certified body, notified body to bring your product on the market, then the notified body shouldn't, if they provide you a certificate, they should not be involved in the development of the product normally. They just test it. Maybe they help a bit, but normally they should not be involved. And I think but the knowledge is there for the development as well in this institution. So they can maybe play another role in providing also the knowledge a bit for the development of the product, but then they are not anymore legal to certify it. So they have, but yeah.
Okay. Jermaine, maybe a 10-second comment, and hit the button for the next question as you answer, just so people can see it.
Just to Maria, when we wrote the proposal, we asked the question to our partners at the time about their testing facility. As you know, when you have a testing infrastructure, this is normally very expensive material, and they have idle times. So almost every infrastructure have idle times, so the infrastructure are empty. So the idea here is to bring a little bit more clients. So we engage. We don't say from now on you will have full activity, etc. But just a little 15%, 20% of more activity from the network, it will be quite sensitive. And another thing is, perhaps you don't know, we have Ireland in our coverage. It's University of Galway. In Ireland, if you need to do a fire test of a facade, you cannot do it in Ireland. There's no testing facility there to do that. So they actually send it to the UK, to a BRE, or whatever. So the idea is this can come to the network.
Great, and if anyone needs to go, we're not offended at this point. This is good discussion for these projects. The one great question we had was, are we all friends? Or, at the dinner tonight, are we going to be throwing punches? Are we synergistic? Are we competitive? Are we non-competitive? Do we pass business to each other within these OITBs? How does that work in Star Trek? Claudia, where we're multiple innovation clusters and the multiple OITBs.
Star Trek has only started, so we are defining how we work together. But actually, we want to share things in Star Trek, especially, for example, we are working on TRL scale, market readiness scale, and manufacturing readiness scale that we develop, or that was developed in Metabuilding Labs, but that we can apply to approaches that come from MEZEROE. We will see how to integrate as well in all of this iCLIMABUILT. So we try to share things. Of course, like in normal life, I would call what we have in the end co-opetition, and we probably, if we don't integrate, we will continue to be in co-opetition, but this is what we all do in European projects all the time, so I don't think this is a problem. But nevertheless, Star Trek aims at to use all these OITBs to help SMEs in Europe, and because that's one of the success factors of Built Innovation Cluster and the Built4People Innovation Cluster Network. I don't know, maybe you have the answer, but yeah, I would say we try to work together, but we will see where we get and how far we get.
No, I think you answered perfectly. We both collaborate and we compete. It's what we do all in the room, as we all write proposals with each other. And I think we're going to leave it there. And the floor is open and closed. That's the agenda that we did. And we did a good job in terms of getting all of that done. Thanks for that. So with that, let's close the workshop and start projecting towards dinner. It's a 20-minute walk from here. It's going to be fantastic. So I look forward to the networking that's coming up after the workshop. Let's thank our speakers and a round of applause for everybody.